SRB2 is a Sonic fan game made in the Doom Legacy engine. It boasts a single-player campaign, tons of unlockables, multiplayer, and most importantly for this video, a dedicated modding community. One of the many mods of this game is the OLDC 2022 Round 1 Map Pack, a collaborative stage mod featuring many talented level designers from the community. It's within this pack where you can find a stage called Spiral Hill Pizza by user Roger. This stage stands out from the others as it forgoes the normal level convention of running from start to finish, instead tasking the player with delivering pizza.
Pizza time.
Spiral Hill has 6 delivery locations, all of which have a large green arrow above them, and all of which must be done in order. The first is in a house straight ahead after exiting the pizzeria. The second spot is on top of a hill right behind the house, in which you can get to by either following the road or using the trail of balloons. The third delivery spot is at the town center in a museum. From there you'll go to the fourth location on a much larger hill. Just like the second location, you can either follow the road or use the balloon trail to get to your destination. The fifth delivery is on the left corner of the stage in a sewer pipe. And after that, you go to the opposite corner for the sixth and final delivery. Deliver all 6 pizzas in under 1 minute and 30 seconds, and you'll unlock the Spider-Man room, which contains all 5 emblems for the stage, and Circus Baby, for some reason. After doing a normal run for this stage, I had a strong urge to start speedrunning it. This probably came from the fact that, just a few days prior, I was grinding S-Rank in Shadow Gem. But I want to do this run a bit differently. You see, the vanilla cast can certainly go fast, this is a Sonic game after all. But their speed just isn't enough for me to be satisfied. If I really wanted to be satisfied with this Spiral Hill Pizza run, I gotta go fast!
Gotta go fast! Gotta go faster, 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 faster! Thanks a lot, Wall!
Created by user Blue Blur on the SRB2 message board, X-Sonic is a version of Sonic based on the early 2000s anime, Sonic X. And this fucker is fast!
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
X-Sonic can reach speeds faster than anything the vanilla cast can dream of. And he's faster than most of the modded characters that currently exist. Keyword most. X-Sonic's main ability is the Zip Dash. By pressing spin or custom 1, Sonic will dash at high speeds in the direction of the camera. This dash is not only fast, but nigh unstoppable, as Sonic blitzes through badniks, spikes, and other destructible obstacles. The only things that can stop him are letting go of the dash button or running into walls. Unfortunately, such great power comes at the cost of having his turning radius severely reduced while dashing. If you want Sonic to take tight corners, you'll have to let go of the dash button, where Sonic will then enter a skidding animation as he slows down. You can cancel this animation with another dash at any point. Jumping during a zip dash lets Sonic do a far-reaching zip dash jump, and if you hit a wall, you can go into a wall run. Both of these abilities are enhanced depending on how long you were dashing beforehand. Additionally, Sonic also has access to a snap dive, where Sonic will home in on enemies or objects, and he can either leap off of them or kick them. Finally, holding the spin button while in the air will consume rings to make Sonic fly around the stage with a ring burst. But for reasons that will be elaborated on later, that ability won't be nearly as useful as you might expect. As you can see, X-Sonic meets my speed needs for Spiral Hill Pizza, and since the stage is so large and open, he can utilize his insane speeds without worrying too much about crashing the walls every 2 seconds. I couldn't find any known records of this stage and character combination, so I set my goal to be sub 40 seconds. But I've kept y'all waiting long enough. Let's deliver some goddamn pizza. My first notable record was 53.57 seconds, which doesn't sound too bad until you watch the run itself. I wasted a lot of time by running into walls, making too many unnecessary jumps, and in general I wasn't used to the map layout and X-Sonic's moveset. However, I was beginning to figure out the best strategies for certain deliveries, such as bouncing on the balloons for the second and scaling the wall on the fourth. So with these strategies in mind, I continued improving my runs, and during that process I made a neat little discovery. I found out that instead of entering the house to complete the first delivery, you can just jump over it and it would still count. Don't know why this works? The other deliveries don't have a similar issue, but it is faster to do it for the first one. With this in mind, I continued to grind and eventually pushed my record down to 49.82, then 43.68, till finally I reached 40.54. I was close to my original goal of sub 40 by mere milliseconds, but at this point it was beginning to become harder to improve. Whenever I didn't end a run by bumping into a wall, or that goddamn blue vanilla NPC,
be careful, be careful, be careful.
Shut up!
I was only right behind the ghost of my last record. I had to start brainstorming ways to shave off those milliseconds, and then I made a realization on how I should approach the stage. You gotta stay grounded. When speedrunning Sonic games, a common trick you'll see is using a substantial burst of speed to jump over sections of a stage. Examples of this include M-Speed in Sonic Generations, the Homing Dash in Sonic Frontiers, and most recently, Spear Gliding in Shadow Generations. And if this was a standard SRB2 stage, X-Sonic would employ a similar type of strategy. However, Spiral Hill Pizza is not a standard stage, and there are a few things that make staying grounded the optimal strategy for speedrunning. First is that X-Sonic cannot effectively use his Ring Burst ability on the stage. I only briefly mentioned it before, but the Ring Burst turns X-Sonic into a ball that can fly through the stage at speeds similar to his Zip Dash. It can feel like you're controlling a pinball at times,
Thanks a lot, Jackass!
but when mastered, it can lead to huge skips. The downside is that it costs rings. And apparently, Spiral Hill's economy is about as bad as Brazil's. Rings are placed sparingly in lines of 3 or maybe 5, and I couldn't find any ring monitors. Or any monitors at all. That would have been very useful depending on the monitor type, as certain shields can give X-Sonic infinite ring energy. Even if these items were off the beaten path, the time saved from being able to use the Ring Burst would have been worth it. So the Ring Burst can't be reused. Big deal, I wasn't using it to begin with. I can still zip leap over buildings if I needed to, right?
Yes, but actually no.
The ascent from the zip leap is about as fast as the zip dash, but as soon as Sonic reaches his peak, his airspeed is decreased as he descends. If I always zip leap over every obstacle, those few seconds falling down would add up. Now this obviously doesn't mean that I just can't zip leap at all. It still needed to scale up the wall in the forced delivery. It just means that when I do, I have to make sure I can get back to solid ground as soon as possible to start dashing again. This can be made easier by pressing jump during any point of the leap's ascent to cancel it into a snap dive, which makes jumping on the house for the first delivery much faster. I began applying this knowledge much more into my runs after the 40.54 record, and soon enough,
Holy shit!
I did it! I achieved the goal of sub 40 with a time of 39.25 seconds. And you know what I thought to myself after going at this for a week? That was fucking easy. I could do better. I did much more grinding and further refined my glue to the ground strategy. A big improvement comes in the third delivery to the museum, as I was able to go from the second to the third location in one continuous zip dash. This is possible because if you zip dash off of a ledge instead of jumping, you still maintain the zip dash state. And while you're in this aerial zip dash state, your turning radius to WASD keys is improved. So, to get to the museum in one dash, I run off the side of this bridge at an angle to gain some height, then zigzag my way towards the museum entrance, therefore running straight into it when I land. This and many other improvements would lead me to my current PB as this video. 36.8 seconds. 4 more seconds may not seem like a big difference compared to the last one, but after grinding for so long, getting new records that I wasn't satisfied with, I think it's good enough for me to stop here. At least for X-Sonic. While I was done speedrunning with X-Sonic, my need for speed was left unsatiated. I needed to go faster, play someone who can truly break the limits of Spiral Hill Pizza, or maybe even SRB2 entirely. But does there exist a character that's even faster than the one with the dedicated dash button? Throughout the over 20 years of SRB2's existence, many versions of the Blue Blur have popped up, each with their own unique quirks and playstyles. However, there is one among them that stands at the top of going fast, a hedgehog truly deserving of the title of the fastest thing alive, a Sonic that surpasses every other. X-Sonic, Adventure Sonic, Junior Sonic, Flying Sonic. Alright, maybe not him. Not even the power of the Chaos Emerald can surpass the absolute monster that is... Super Mystic Sonic, or SMS, is a character mod by Golden Shine that goes back almost 2 decades. He was a staple in multiplayer servers in the early days of SRB2, and throughout the years has had multiple updates and revisions, all the way up until now, with the current version being SMS Reborn 3.2. I could delve more into the history of this character, but Golden Shine himself has already done that in his own video, so if you're interested, give that a watch. Anyways, what makes SMS different from X-Sonic? Both of them are made to go fast, right? Well, let's remind ourselves how many abilities X-Sonic has. He has the Zip Dash Jump, Wall Run, Wall Jump, Snap Dive, and the Ring Burst. That totals to 6 abilities, and 4 of them are kind of attached to one button. SMS has... Multi-Funk, Homing Attack, Wall Jump, Spin Dash, Sonic Adventure flavored so you can spam it, Dash Button, Boost Mode, Air Boost, Drop Dash, Stomp, Atomic Dive, Sweep Combo, Dodge Roll, Light Dash, Fireball, and a Comet Haymaker. Holy fucking shit, this character is busted. Yeah, so similar to X-Sonic, SMS uses his speed and agility to get through stages as fast as possible. But the difference here is that, while X-Sonic has to make use of his admittedly limited toolset to get through the stages, SMS has no limits, and you gotta figure out how all this shit flows together in order to use them at its best.
Wow, my head's spinning!
I knew with enough trial and error, I could definitely beat my X-Sonic record, but I still wanted to have some sort of stopping point to work towards. Luckily for me, a player by the name of Eclipse Knight 702 already posted a run of SMS on Spiral Hill Pizza, netting himself a time of 30.37 seconds. That was my goal to beat. And so, the grind began once more. Well, there you have it. I beat Eclipse Knight's record with a time of 29.20 seconds. These personal bests with X-Sonic and SMS were my first real attempt at speedrunning something. Despite being a fan of high-speed platformers, I never made any real effort to speedrun outside of getting in-game ranks. The idea of trying to find the best route in the stage was intimidating to me, and I didn't really know what time goal I should set for myself as a beginner. but the combination of Spiral Hill's openness, the linearity of the objective, and having 2 characters made for speedrunning is what convinced me to finally give this thing a shot. The end result was a pair of records that, while not being world-shattering, were ones that I could be proud of. Now, I haven't done any major speedrunning since making these 2 records. They are a year old. But every once in a while, I'll boot up an SRB2 map pack, pick a stage and character, and see how fast I can go, just for the fun of it. Hope y'all enjoyed this little adventure of mine. It's the first non-shitpost video on this channel, so I put a lot of effort into it, and I plan to make more like it in the future, even if it takes 2 years. If you enjoyed this, then I hope you can look forward to whatever else I decide to do.